Starts now.
Chicago getting ready to ring in the new year in the national spotlight. How the city plans to keep revelers safe.
Despite claims from the White House, crime in Chicago drops to its lowest level in a decade.
And what a difference a day makes from feeling like spring to the return of winter in like 24 hours. Yesterday's rain turned to snow this morning, making roads pretty slick.
And more snow showers could be on the way this week. Meteorologist Phil Schwartz is joining us now with the ABC7 AccuWeather forecast. Phil.
Yeah, Karen and Rob, tomorrow afternoon and again Wednesday afternoon. Not big storms, but enough to cause a few slick spots. But man, did we have some winds last night. Look at these gusts, 57-mile-per-hour gusts that fell. Paraiso, O'Hare officially had a gust of 52, and Antioch, you had a gust of 53. That ushered in the colder air. It's 19 right now at O'Hare, 18 in Waukegan, and 21 at Midway. You factor in the wind. The wind's not that strong right now, but strong enough to give us a wind chill of just 4 at O'Hare. It feels like 4 above in Bradley and 6 down in Rensselaer. We've been watching these flurries. They're beginning to diminish, but they're not out of the picture yet. Tomorrow we start with a little bit in the way of sun, then the clouds roll in. We get into the mid-20s, and late in the day you can see there will be some snow showers around. Just enough snow late tomorrow to create a few slick spots. New Year's Eve, same thing, some afternoon snow showers creating some slick spots. New Year's Day looks dry but cold with a high of just 19. Complete forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Phil. Chicago is on pace to finish the year with the fewest number of homicides in at least a decade. And violent crime overall is also significantly down. What's driving it all? Craig Wall talked to some experts who track crime trends.
A weekend shooting downtown left 1 man dead and another 3 wounded, serving as a reminder that big cities can be dangerous places. But in 2025, Chicago overall was a much safer place than it has been in years past. According to an ABC7 data team analysis of CPD crime stats through December 20th, there have been 417 murders in Chicago. That's the lowest number in at least 10 years. It represents a 36% decline from the average of the last 3 years. Police Superintendent Larry Snelling says there are many factors involved.
Partnerships, everyone working together across the board, internally within the Chicago Police Department, top-down leadership, intelligence-driven policing.
This past summer, a mass shooting at a nightclub left 4 people dead and another 14 wounded by gunfire. And yet this year, shootings across the city are way down. Chicago is on pace to have fewer than 2,000 shooting victims for the first time in a decade, which is a nearly 40% decline compared to the average of the past 3 years. A University of Chicago Crime Lab analysis of this year's crime statistics found that violent crime was down not just in Chicago, but in many other big cities too. Why?
The honest answer is we don't know exactly why crime is down. There has been a lot happening in the last few years, as we're all aware, a lot of economic, social, institutional factors. They're all changing at the same time.
The study suggesting that Chicago's decline in violent crime may not be due to specific things happening here, but violence prevention groups believe their efforts are helping make a difference.
One shooting or one, murder is one too many, but when you think about over a 10 years, a concerted effort to reduce violence, it's moving in the direction that we expect.
The mayor believes critical investments are paying off.
So whether it's the partnerships or the investments, that's necessary. That's investments in youth employment, mental and behavioral health care, services and support. But it also means that we have to invest in the divisions of policing that are strategic.
Craig Wall, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
President Trump today says if Iran builds up again, the U.S. will, quote, knock them down. It's not clear what the president is directly referring to. He made the comments ahead of a major meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. ABC's Perry Russum is in Washington with the latest.
President Trump in a high-stakes meeting today with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as the delicate ceasefire in Gaza is holding, and Iran's president says his country is in a full-scale war with the U.S. and Israel. The tension between the 3 countries has been simmering after the strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities over the summer.
I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup.
It's not clear what President Trump was directly referring to. Iran's president claims the U.S., Israel, and Europe do not want Iran to stand on its feet.
Iran may be behaving badly. It hasn't been confirmed, but if it's confirmed, look, they know the consequences. Consequences will be very powerful.
Trump and Netanyahu discussing the ceasefire deal in Gaza. It's broadly holding, still in the first of 3 proposed phases. Details of that second phase have not yet been agreed to. Trump says he wants to move to that second phase as quickly as possible.
Well, we talked about Hamas and we talked about disarmament, and they're going to be given a very short period of time to disarm.
Before meeting with Trump, Netanyahu sitting down with Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Netanyahu praising Trump.
I think he's been extraordinary in his friendship and his support for Israel.
President Trump was asked if he supports overthrowing Iran's government. He said he would not talk about that, but said Iran had a lot of problems, including their economy. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
President Donald Trump says that teams are, quote, getting a lot closer, maybe very close, to achieving a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia. Trump meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Florida yesterday. He says they covered 95% of the issues needed to end the war. Both parties say negotiations will continue in the coming weeks. President Trump says the United States knocked out a big facility in Venezuela, which in what appears to be a reference to a strike on a drug trafficking site. He made the comments last week in a radio interview. If true, this would be the first known attack on land in Venezuela since the Trump administration began its campaign against the country. President Trump did not say if the military carried out the strike.
For the first time, Chicago is playing a prominent role in the nationally televised Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest broadcast. The nation will see the moment the clock hits midnight right here in Chicago. ABC7's Rob Hughes has the city's plan to keep people safe and entertained.
Hosting Chicago's New Year's Eve celebration is a big moment for our city and another opportunity to showcase the very best that Chicago offers to the entire world.
The city of Chicago gearing up to show off to a national audience. The celebration this year will be featured in the first ever Central Time Zone countdown on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest, co-hosted by Chicago's own Chance the Rapper.
I think everyone's excited for the celebrations this year. It's a fun time in the city.
The spotlight adding another layer to safety and logistics planning, in particular eliciting another stern warning from the mayor and Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling to underage teens and their parents.
If you don't know where they are and they find themselves in a place where they're breaking the law, we're going to take action, and you're going to have to come and get them.
In addition to what Superintendent Snelling calls a highly visible presence from CPD, Chicago is getting a boost in resources from federal law enforcement, specifically the Secret Service, similar to coordination efforts during the marathon and the DNC. While these plans continue behind the scenes, crews are already downtown unloading barricades, closing down Franklin Street between Lake and Wacker, near where the main performance stage is expected to be assembled. Opening at 5 p.m. New Year's Eve, event entrances are on Wacker at the corner of Wells or Lake. It's free and open to the public, but there are security checkpoints with metal detectors. As Chicago gears up for its biggest ever New Year's Eve celebration, the mayor says it's another step towards Chicago's growth as a place to visit even in the winter.
There are several publications now that have identified Chicago in the top 5 destinations for New Year's Eve. That has not been the case, but since we have taken on this effort to make the city of Chicago a year-round destination, I'm glad that we're moving in this direction.
Rob Hughes, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Rob, thanks. To help people get home safely, the CTA offering free rides on Wednesday. It applies to trains and buses running between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. New Year's Day.
And if you plan to ride Uber on New Year's Eve, you can grab a free voucher right now. Chicago-based Disparity Law Group is giving away 1,000 free Uber rides. They'll be good to use between 10 Wednesday night and 3 Thursday morning. It's first come, first serve until they run out. We have a link to claim a voucher on our website and news app. And if you're staying home on New Year's Eve, ABC7 is the place to be for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest and Chance the Rapper's hosting from Chicago. The fun starts Wednesday night at 7, and Chicago's New Year's Eve tradition returns. We're talking about year 8 of The Dance with Terrell Brown and Cheryl Scott. That premieres New Year's Eve at 9:15, just after an early edition of our late newscast.
So if I have it straight, you and I will do the 9 p.m. news,
Yes.
and then The Dance will come on. It's
Right.
going to be a lot of fun. Well, looking for a new job in the new year, an expert joins us live with tips and tricks, plus where you can get help free tomorrow.
2025 year in review. We'll show you some of the biggest stories of the past year.
And later saying good riddance to bad habits in 2026. Dun, 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 dun. John, it's Karen and Rob. Can you hear us?
How are you doing, Karen and Rob?
Good, John. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're in a break right now. We'll talk to you here in about a minute.
Excellent.
New year, new you, new job. As 2026 approaches, many people are looking to change employment.
Joining us tonight, John Challenger, President and CEO of Challenger Gray and Christmas, with some tips to help make it happen. John, it's great to have you just a few days before 2026. How are you?
I am great. Nice to be with you, Rob.
It's great to have you here. Let's talk about AI. You hear so much about jobs being taken by AI and stuff like that, but you say use AI to your advantage when searching for a job.
So important to use AI. It's certainly a tool now that is changing the way the job search works. You can go in and take your resume and craft it to the job that you're looking at. You can use it to network, find people that you need to see. It's often the people you'd go to work for at companies. So AI is really changing the job search.
So data coming in from November showed that there was a higher than expected increase, some jobs added. That's coming off of some jobs lost in October. Any chance that this is trending in a positive direction for January?
Well, it's good. It was good news. We saw higher than expected jobs created. That means, it wasn't as bad as people thought, but the unemployment rate is up. It's 4.6%. Last November was 4.2%. So the economy is slowing, but it's not all bad.
People use social media all the time, John, and sometimes you look back at something you posted years ago and you're like, oh man, I forgot saying that. And so what do you recommend, especially for young folks looking to get a head start in their profession when it comes to social media use?
Well, use your social media profiles to tell job companies, that might be hiring you about your candidacy. Tell them what you've done. Make sure to include your work history in there. Look at Google and look and see if there's information about you that maybe you want to adjust. All the social media, is a good place to be talking about your candidacy. It's also really important to go out and see people, just like always. Today, you can do that through Zoom or Teams. We recommend that you have 5, maybe even 10 Zoom meetings with people. Coffee's even better, but every week, do that even while you're working. If you can set that network up, make sure it's fresh, even while you're working. If you do lose your job, you'll be in a better place.
How important is it to really hone your skills and to kind of keep that fresh, to sort of stay on top of the trends in your industry?
It's just so easy to do today. You can go to places like Coursera and other online education spots to take classes, get licenses, certifications, in the area that you work in, and just show employers you're always upgrading your skills.
This is a pretty broad question, John, but I figured I'd ask while we have you because your organization knows so much about the job market. What do you see 2026 being like for jobs in America or artificial intelligence? Or what sectors do you think will be hiring maybe more so than others as we enter 2026?
Well, there is, everybody's worried that AI is cutting jobs, and certainly there will be changes there. But we don't think 2026 is going to be a recession. So even if it's slowing, there are always companies that are hiring. Job market is a big place. The people who work hardest at it, stay at it, don't give up or don't get caught, like say in LinkedIn, just adding contacts, but not seeing people, not applying to jobs, not going out and seeing the companies themselves that find the job. So it's important to be optimistic and stay at it.
And this may be easier said than done, but if you're not finding a lot of opportunities within your industry, you suggest looking beyond your industry. But how do you even do that?
Well, often people mistype or think about what they've been doing or where they can look based on the industry they came out of. But for example, if you're in HR, you can go to work in a manufacturing company in HR. You could go to work for a bank in HR. So it's your function, the area of work that you're been doing, that your career's built on, that's the key to your finding your next job. And that often can be at many different companies in many different kinds of industries.
We left the best for last here as we let you go. Tomorrow is something incredible y'all offer, your services. Are you going to be manning the phones tomorrow too?
We are all manning the phones. We held webinars today. Tomorrow we're taking calls all day long from 9 to 5. So hoping people will call in 312-422-5010. We have coaches, manning those phones all day long. So you'll get through if you stay at it.
Yeah, we're going to show that in just a moment. We really appreciate that you joined us last year. Right. You were Challenger Gray and Christmas, and it's just such helpful tips that you provide to a lot of people looking for employment. So thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Robin. Karen, appreciate it as well for having me.
Oh, John, thank you so much. A lot of good information there. And of course, you can contact a job coach, as John was just saying, directly. This is tomorrow during the Challenger Gray and Christmas 40th Annual Job Search Hotline. It runs from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. tomorrow. You can see the number right here on your screen. You can also find the information on our website, ABC7Chicago.com.
John answers. Tell him you saw him on TV with me.
Right.
It's good stuff, yeah. Coming up next, we're looking back at the top stories of 2025 and how they shaped the year.
And we're going to take a live look outside right now as we head to break. Some more snow showers could hit before New Year's. Phil times it out on your AccuWeather forecast. As 2025 comes to an end, we are reflecting on some of the big events over the past year that will stick with us for years to come.
From the election of a Chicago-born pope to the loss of some legendary local athletes, this has been a momentous year for people here and across the world.
on your list.
2025 kicked off with a memorable Countdown Chicago on ABC7. Terrell Brown and Cheryl Scott taking us back to school with their incredible dance performance, and the whole city celebrating with big hopes for the year ahead. Some of those hopes were placed in the new head coach of the Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson, coming to Chicago from Detroit, immediately getting praise from quarterback Caleb Williams and lifting the spirits of Bears fans everywhere.
Good, better, bad. Good, better, bad. Never let it rest. Never let it rest. Good gets better. Good gets better. Better gets better. Better gets better.
Controversy in the south suburbs as embattled leader Tiffany Henyard became the subject of an investigation by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot over financial mismanagement. In February, we mourned the matriarch of the Chicago Bears, Virginia McCaskey, passing away at the age of 102, leaving a legacy that will be remembered for generations to come. February also marked a new chapter in the life of former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, convicted of trying to sell the U.S. Senate seat once held by Barack Obama. President Donald Trump granting Blago a full and unconditional pardon, wiping his record clean. A starkly different fate for another Illinois politician, former House Speaker Michael Madigan, once the state's most dominant power broker, convicted of corruption and sent to prison. Also found guilty in 2025, Joseph Shuba, sentenced to 53 years for the murder of 6-year-old Wadi El Fayoume, a crime motivated by hatred for the child's Muslim faith. Shuba would die in prison 2 months later. In March, a conclusion to a painful chapter in Highland Park. The man behind the mass shooting during the city's 4th of July parade, Robert Cremo III, changing his plea to guilty just hours before he was set to stand trial for the massacre that left 7 people dead, dozens wounded, and a community forever changed. Also that month, a missing persons case that had frustrated investigators for decades was finally solved when crews found the car belonging to Elgin woman Karen Sheepers in the Fox River, who remained still inside, answering the questions her loved ones had been asking since she disappeared back in 1983. In April, a shocking attack on the campus of DePaul University, 2 Jewish students beaten in broad daylight, leading to hate crime charges. We lost a Chicago Bears legend. Hall of Famer Steve Mongo McMichael died following a brave battle with ALS. He earned a permanent spot in Chicago history with his dominance on the field as a member of the 1985 Super Bowl Bears. In May, former Illinois Governor George Ryan died at the age of 91. Serving 40 years in state government, he made international headlines, halting the state's death penalty, but that was overshadowed by his conviction for federal corruption. 2025 will also be remembered as the year Chicago stepped onto the global stage as Pope Leo XIV, born Robert Francis Prevost in a Chicago hospital, was formally elected, the leader of millions of Catholics around the world. It was a moment that moved and inspired so many people in our area, including the students at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Academy, who had put on their own mock conclave. Another moment people will be talking about for years, the first ever dust storm warning issued for the city of Chicago in mid-May. People looking on in amazement as this rare weather phenomenon blew through. A bitter conflict over the future of Chicago public schools resulting in the departure of school CEO Pedro Martinez in June. Martinez had refused to take out a high-interest loan to pay for a teacher contract, a move pushed by Mayor Brandon Johnson and his allies in the teachers' union. Also in June, fears of an immigration crackdown by the Trump administration coming to a head when several local alders joined protesters confronting federal agents outside a facility in the South Loop. And tragedy struck the Chicago Police Department. Officer Crystal Rivera killed by her partner while pursuing a suspect in what investigators called an accidental shooting. Those are just some of the stories we'll remember for the first 6 months. First 6 months of this year, but the rest of the year brought many more memorable events. And join us tomorrow as we explore the second half of 2025. You see a couple things and you're like, I forgot that happened.
Quite a year.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh. Well, stay with ABC7 tonight as Robin Roberts hosts the year 2025. It's a 2-hour special that takes a look back at the breakout stars, heroes, viral trends, and change makers who dominated the headlines this past year.
It's time for our weather forecast. Was 2025 the year of Phil Schwartz's retirement? When was? No? What, how long ago was that?
2023.
What?
I've been retired 2 years.
Whoa.
But retirement means that you don't come back to work.
Well, then I'm not retired.
Right, semi-retired. Was it really 2 years ago?
Well, he's always in our hearts.
It's almost 3 years.
Right. It was almost
Three.
It'll be 3 years, March 1st of 2026.
At the time, you had one grandkid, and now there are four.
Yes.
I hope they had a good Christmas.
Yeah, it's great. Enjoying it as much as I possibly can. And boy, what a change from yesterday weather-wise. We had such nice weather, at least temperature-wise, yesterday, even though we had all that rain. Yesterday at 3 o'clock, we were sitting at a comfortable 56 degrees. We saw the cold front coming, but still, when it was 23 today, it felt so much colder. Part of the fact is that we had these winds, so it felt nearly, not quite, but close to 50 degrees colder than yesterday at the same time. Still cold through Friday, but then a little bit warmer. We have 2 weak disturbances coming. The first one tomorrow afternoon, you can see that gives us about a ½ an inch of snow, and then a second one as we head into New Year's Eve during the afternoon and early evening hours. Just enough snow with that one, a ½ an inch to an inch, to create some slick spots. So keep that in mind. The next couple afternoon, early evening hours, there could be some slick travel. Not any big snowstorms, though. Snow showers finally beginning to die down, especially in the southern suburbs. Still some activity, maybe creating a few slick spots, especially from Peatone down towards Kankakee. Winter storm warnings over in southwest Michigan, those will come to an end a little bit later tonight. Today's high of 24 degrees, 9 degrees below average last year in the state. We made it up to 46. We picked up, at least officially, just under an inch of snow. 19 degrees, that's where we're sitting right now at O'Hare. The wind chill is down to 4. 21 in Burbank as well as in Munster. 20 for you folks in Frankfort. Only 13 out in the Quad Cities, and you can see Minneapolis sitting at just 7. So there's plenty of cold air around. I don't know if I would classify it as frigid, but certainly cold enough. Quiet conditions back to the west. Lake effect snow beginning to diminish in Michigan. As we put this into motion, watch what happens. Yeah, we have a high to our west, but up in Canada, there's this very weak disturbance. That's going to dive southeastward. We'll start tomorrow with some sunshine. Then the clouds start to roll in, and there you see the spotty snow showers. Highs by very late in the day up to 25. Most of the day it will be several degrees cooler than that. Those snow showers continue into early tomorrow night, then move out again about, I'd say, a ½ an inch to an inch of accumulation. Then as we get into Wednesday, more snow showers develop during the afternoon, continue into the early evening before moving to the south and to the east with a high up to 31. But then we get another shot of colder weather as we head into New Year's Day. Lows tonight from 7 to 14. The flurries will come to an end. Highs tomorrow from 23 north, 30 far south. Accumulations of snow less than an inch late in the afternoon. More of the same on New Year's Eve. Coldest day will be on New Year's Day, and then temperatures a little bit warmer for the weekend.
All right. Thanks, Phil. I'm getting ready for the new year with Good Riddance Day. Good riddance. Do you have something you want to say goodbye to?
You know what? I'll have to think about that.
Right, you have a whole break to do it. We'll show you how some people are saying farewell to 2025. Have a seat.
Part of the optimism that comes with a new year is saying good riddance to the old one.
Good riddance. That's the idea behind Good Riddance Day in New York City. It's being celebrated in Times Square, and residents are writing out things they intend to leave behind in 2025, declaring their intentions publicly and then ripping up their notes to seal their intentions.
I'm closing the curtain on unemployment, endless job applications, and self-doubt.
I am closing the curtain on negativity in 2025. I want us to focus on what unites us and not what divides us.
Okay, Good Riddance Day was put together by the same production crew coordinating the New Year's Eve ball drop in Times Square.
I think I'm going to take a page from that guy's book. That's what I want to say good riddance to. Negativity in 2025.
I like that. When I first saw the story, I'm like, why are we so negative about good riddance? But you're right, there's always a couple things that I say goodbye to.
I can't give up negativity. It brings too much joy.
This is true.
I'm serious.
Right. Oh, you got applause from Lee, our floor director. Yeah. Don't give it up, all right?
I can't.
Okay. Well, the three of us are back at 10. You two need a break. You've worked hard tonight. We'll see you at 10.